UFC 319 takes place this weekend, and I'm predicting and breaking down every single fight on the card. There will be timestamps at the bottom, so if you want to jump around, I will not hold it against you. I'm kind of delayed in the production of this video because, well, there have been fights that have been taken off the card, added to the card all week. Today we got a Bobby Green versus Bruno Ferreira. That's just been taken off the card. So let's get into this. We're going to start off the early prelims. I'm going to start off the early prelim opener of Idiris versus Joseph Morales. I think Idiris is going to win. Morales has been in the UFC before. He's clearly not UFC quality. He's 1-3. I think Idiris will just be the more hungry fighter of the two of them, and I think he will get this one done. I think he'll get it done by a decision, pretty dominant decision. I'm going to say 30-27. This is the finale of The Ultimate Fighter. I think Idiris is going to win it over Joseph Morales. Moving on, Karine Silva versus Dione Barbosa. Dione Barbosa is taking this on about a week's and a half notice. I don't like that for her. I think Karine Silva will get this one done. She's an alright fighter. She's pretty mid inside the women's flyweight division, but I'm going to say she gets this one done by decision over Dione Barbosa. Moving on, Bryan Battle versus Ruziboev. This is at middleweight, which is interesting because if it was at welterweight, the frame advantage is for Ruziboev. And with the way Bryan Battle likes to fight, he likes to brawl and push his opponent up against the cage and use his size. Like, he tends to use his size advantage over his opponent. Against a guy like Ruziboev, who is not only bigger than him, but is also faster than him, Bryan Battle's going to struggle, and he doesn't exactly have the lateral movement to negate the speed of Ruziboev. So I can see Ruziboev piecing him up. I can see him catching him with big shots. Bryan Battle's going to want to try and push the pace, push Ruziboev backwards. I can see Ruziboev moving out of that position, countering. I can see Ruziboev clearly winning this fight. I think he wins it by decision, if not late round 3 TKO, when Bryan Battle realizes he's down 2 rounds, he needs to try and push the pace, and Ruziboev is just piecing him up on the back foot. So, moving on, Edson Barboza versus Drakkar Klose. Edson Barboza is old. He hasn't fought in about a year and a half, if not closer to 2 years. Drakkar Klose is alright. He's not good, he's not bad, he's got decent grappling, he's got decent striking, he's not all that, you know what I mean? Prime Barboza would absolutely murk him in the cage. This version of Drakkar could give him a close fight. However, I'm thinking Unk still got it. I think we get an Edson Barboza classic. I'm seeing a TKO round 3 via leg kicks. People forget, man, Barboza's got crazy leg kicks. Edson Barboza classic. Moving on. Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. Hernandez is pretty good, man. This is a tough matchup. I know Hooper is quite a big favourite going into this fight, and I will be picking Chase Hooper to win, but Hernandez is very underrated, and it depends how much you rate Chase Hooper. I think Chase Hooper is good enough to go on a run at lightweight. I don't think he's going to be champ, you know what I mean? I don't think he's going to be champion of lightweight. Decent striking. Your striking's improved quite a bit. He's got a solid right hand down the pipe. Basics are good enough to beat Hernandez. I think he'll get him to the ground, and I think he'll get him via armbar from mount position. I think Chase Hooper's going to win, but I think it's going to be close. I think every single fight Chase Hooper's going to get from now on is going to be closer and closer and closer. I don't think he's going to dominate anyone in particular, unless he gets like Michael Chandler. Moving on, Jessica Andrade versus Loopy Godinez. Andrade is washed. Loopy Godinez is on her way up. I think Loopy Godinez will get this one done. I think she's going to get it done by decision. I probably won't be watching this fight, if I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to throw that out there. I will be watching the next fight though. Baysangur Susurkaev versus Eirc Nolan. Ignore the fact it says Michal Oleksiejczuk on the screen. I made a mistake while putting this together. Susurkaev is making the fastest turnaround, I think, in UFC history. He fought 4 days ago at the time of this fight. He's making a 4-day turnaround. I think he beats Eirc Nolan, personally. I think he's good enough to beat Eirc Nolan. I'm going to pick a round 2 TKO. He is a huge favourite going into this fight. And if he gets it done, that's hype. That's a 4-day turnaround in the UFC. Not against UFC caliber opponents, don't get me wrong. He won a fight in the Contender Series, and now he's fight Eirc Nolan, who probably isn't UFC quality. It's hype though, it's hype. 4-day turnaround, amazing base for a career. On top of that, he's got the Chimeav support. He's bomb buddies with Chimeav, so. Moving on, Gerald Meerschaert versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. I think Oleksiejczuk will win. He's got a very underrated ground game. I think he gets it done via submission side round number 2. There's not really a lot of basis to say a submission for Oleksiejczuk. He doesn't really get submissions. It's more just ground and pound from top position. I think he gets this one done though. Oleksiejczuk beat Cedric Dumas, but Dumas is kind of rubbish. And Chijino is a good win though, via ground and pound. Brundage is a good win as well. And yeah, he's got multiple wins via ground and pound KO. So, but the way Oleksiejczuk likes to fight is he likes to threaten a submission and then go for ground and pound, and then threaten another submission and then go for ground and pound. So sets up his ground and pound is by faking submissions effectively. So the submission is there, but he doesn't really have the intent of going for the submission. Moving on to the main card. Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Asakura did not get asked a single question at the press press conference. However, Tim Elliott's last fight was 2023 over Samuel Darchi. I'm gonna pick Kai Asakura to win this one. He's more active. He's getting back in there. I don't want no K-pop champion. I'm picking him to win round 2 TKO. I'm thinking a knee to the body and then a strike upstairs that drops Tim Elliott and he gets the KO. Round number 2. Moving on. Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. This is an interesting one because I'm very mixed on this one because Michael Venom Page, a massive weakness in the grappling game. Ian Gary managed to beat Michael Venom Page by mixing in the grappling. Cannonier can mix in the grappling and he does have good grappling. Is he going to mix it up? No. I'm going to be honest, he's not going to mix it up. I think Page will win the first 2 rounds. I think Cannonier will shoot a takedown in the 3rd. Won't be able to do anything with it. And I think he'll go to decision, and I think Michael Venom Page will win this by decision. I do have round 2 KO on the screen. He will not knock him out in round number 2. I think Michael Venom Page will take him to a very boring decision. 29-28, where Cannonier does nothing in the first 2 rounds, mixes it up in the 3rd, and then Page wins a decision 29-28. So that's my prediction for this fight. Moving on, Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. This is an interesting fight because both these guys hit hard. And I've rewatched some Carlos Prates fights, and there are openings for Jeff Neal to blitz forwards. That being said though, Carlos Prates, when he puts that mustard on you, it's difficult, you know what I mean? So I think Prates will finish Jeff Neal. I think Prates will win this one. I think Prates is the better fighter out the 2 of them. And he does also have a solid chin as well. But there are certainly openings for Jeff Neal to exploit. When Prates comes forwards, his lead hand is dropped, you know he's going to try and exploit that left-hand side, which is why he throws a left knee, a left kick to the body, and a left straight is his best utility that he has. I can see him putting Jeff Neal down with that, and I can see him putting him out. I'm going to pick Prates to win this one by round 2 TKO, but, you know, Jeff Neal, there are openings for Jeff Neal to exploit. Moving on, Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. Lerone Murphy will school Aaron Pico. Listen, the level of Bellator is nowhere near the level of the UFC. If we look at Aaron Pico's wins and we look at Lerone Murphy's wins are against genuine UFC caliber opponents. Aaron Pico, they're not. And the problem is with Aaron Pico and the guys that he's for, the guys you fight against and the competition you have helps you grow as a fighter. Aaron Pico's not fought against high-level opponents, and he hasn't fought against guys who are going to test his capabilities and make him level up his game in the same way the UFC guys will. Even though he's boring, I think Lerone Murphy will school him, and I think he'll win this one by decision. So my prediction is Lerone Murphy by decision, 30-27, pretty clear win for Lerone Murphy. Bellator is nowhere near the level of the UFC, but I'm going to pick Lerone Murphy to win. I'm picking him to win by decision. Moving on, Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimeav. I've made a separate breakdown for this, but let's do it again. This fight can go either way, and it depends on how Chimeav manages to do in round number 1, because if Chimeav wins this fight, he's going to look the most dominant fighter anyone has ever seen. He's going to submit Dricus du Plessis inside round number 1. He's going to, scream Allahu Akbar multiple times, throw his mouth guard out of the cage, take that belt, jump up and down. The Khamzat fans are going to be even more insufferable. I'm being honest, this fight week has been horrible just because of the Khamzat fans thinking that he towers over Dricus when they're the same height basically because they don't understand camera angles and perspectives. But if Chimeav doesn't win in round number 1, Chimeav will look very average. If he doesn't win in round number 1, he will look very average. He's going to gas himself out, not because he has a terrible gas tank, because the way that he grapples is very taxing on his energy levels and his gas tank. He grapples with all of his force. When someone tries to defend that first takedown from Chimeav, his goal is to just pick him up. Ling Jing Liang got a whizzer and was defending perfectly fine against Chimeav. Chimeav just picked him up. He used all of his force, picked him up, and just started ragdolling him. Against Kevin Holland, same thing. Against Robert Whittaker, same thing. Against Usman, same thing. That Usman fight, he picked Usman up. He couldn't get Usman down for about 30 seconds. It's the longest anyone's ever managed to survive on the feet with Khamzat Chimeav. He couldn't get Usman down. He just ended up picking him up and slamming him down. It's the thing with Chimeav. His wrestling uses far too much energy. It cannot be replicated over the course of 3 rounds, let alone 5 rounds. And I think if Dricus survives, and Dricus is big by the way as well. Dricus is a thick guy for middleweight. I think he has the size advantage here out of the 2 of them. And Chimeav kind of needs that size advantage to really implicate his wrestling. So I think he's going to struggle to get Dricus down. I think he gets him down by doing his thing where he picks up his opponent, slams him to the mat, ragdolls him a bunch. But I think Dricus will, try and impose his will a little bit. Chimeav's going to gas out after round number 1. Dricus will start putting them hands on him, not be able to get his takedowns. He's going to panic shoot a few times. He's going to get pieced up on the feet because Dricus is much better at boxing. I know Khabib came along and said, in a strict boxing fight, Chimeav will win. Chimeav got outboxed by Usman, who got outboxed by Buckley. Okay? Dricus du Plessis has outboxed Strickland twice, one of which being a 50-45. He will beat Khamzat Chimeav on the feet. Dricus will probably end up shooting on Chimeav, let's be honest here. And I think he'll get a round 4 TKO against Khamzat Chimeav, with Chimeav folding. I think Chimeav will break in this fight. Round 4, I think we're going to see a momentum shift that we have not seen in the UFC before. I think round 2 going into round 3, we're going to see Dricus du Plessis starting to take over. And I think he wins this one, round 4 TKO. But that is it for this video. Let me know what you think of my predictions, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.